NWS Weekly, a show that is dedicated to covering United Women's Soccer, a national pro-am league with your host, Jonathan Ward. Each and every week, we will highlight players, supporters, and staff of the clubs we all pride ourselves to support in North America. The UWS is a league that is committed to advancing women's soccer.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Kansas City United Soccer Coaches Convention. Saskia Webber, my goodness, thank you.
Oh, are you kidding me? Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I'm like, first of all, Kansas City, and I think it's balmy 10 today.
All right, it's better than the balmy 3 degrees walking back in the beard frozen the other night.
Yeah, at least you have the facial hair to keep you warm.
Yeah, hey, that's the best part about having it. Hey, listen, I have you on today, and I first off, I want to say how grateful I am for everything that you've done for our sport and advancing it and helping others see the game. And, you know, I've posted teasers of our conversation with your World Cup hair of the Dennis Rodman style flag. Before we go anywhere, I have to ask, what was behind that?
There's a great story behind that, actually. Was it Nigeria? A couple of the other teams had done it. They had put like some spray paint in their hair and stuff like that. And Chrissy Rampone, at that time, Chrissy Pierce's mother, had brought us hairspray. Paint to put in our hairs. And so we were where were we? I think our second game. And if you look at the pictures, like Daniel Fotopoulos, like Tisha Venturini, like all of the players had hair spray in their hair. Everybody did. But because I had my hair pulled in such a tight ponytail, I obviously went the extra yard and stenciled in, like, you know, the U.S. flag and stuff like that. So then it became like a staple. And so nobody else did it after that. And so then every pregame, Christy would come to my room and we'd do a new thing. And I actually came down in the DC game against Germany and I didn't have my hair colored. Because I thought, like I'm not trying to wear, like, hey, pay attention to me type of thing and stuff. So I thought, all right, I'm done with this. And I got into the room and they're like, what are you doing? Like, why isn't your hair colored? I was like, well, you know, it's over. It was fun. Whatever. They're like, no. Like, it's superstition now. So Christy and I ran upstairs. It's a true story. She'll tell the same story. So we ran upstairs, Captain America and me. And we go upstairs and she starts doing my hair and spraying my hair, but we didn't have any windows or anything open in the room. And I turned blue and I looked at her and we almost asphyxiated herself before the Germany game, almost passed out.
Oh no.
And she'll tell the same story.
Oh, no.
We ran, we cracked the window, we're like breathing out of it. We were so nauseous and everything was really funny. So it kind of grew on its own. It became its own like animal, I would say.
So, you know, it's unique, right? But it also, it brought more awareness to the game. I think that in and of itself was a big stepping stone for not just the 99ers, but beyond. Talk a little bit about the experience of 1999 and kind of how it was. Obviously, the facilities and the way the game was treated at the time was completely different than it is now. But kind of reflect on that a little bit with us.
Well, I think you'll talk to all 99ers. We're going to tell you pretty much the same story that, like, they were, you know, they told our organizing committee and Marla Messing and everybody that we would never be able to play this World Cup in major stadiums, that we should play in small college stadiums, and everything like that, like maybe 10,000 people and so on. And they said no. They said, we believe that there's something here. We had already had a following after the 96 Olympics and everything. So they said no. And I think that we believed in that as well. But then I think it really hit home and everybody tells the same story, probably a little different for me. And I bring up Christy again because we were Jersey girls, but driving down the turnpike, going up to Giant Stadium, and just hitting that gridlock of traffic and having a police escort and driving on the shoulder road. And I originally thought it was like Lincoln Tunnel traffic. Like, I was like, oh, I guess everybody's going to the city tonight. But realizing that every single car had red, white, and blue. Everybody was going to the game. The Giant Stadium was sold out, not because it was the Olympics, not because men were playing before us, but because we were playing in the World Cup. And I think that just set the tone, and it changed soccer for women in the world forever.
And you played a small part in that, in being a part of that growth. How do you see the game continuing to grow, and what steps do we need to make sure that it's at equality or that equal piece that we always talk about?
I think that women have to stop being thankful that we're playing, thankful for what we're given. That those days are over. It's not, oh, thank you so much for, giving us money to have a program or something. No, we have a product. We're very good at what we do. It's incredible for society. It's great for young women. And it goes above and beyond that. And society as a whole in America and everywhere has to learn that it's not men's sports that drives economy. It's not this, but everybody does. And it's the product you're putting out there. And if it's quality and how you're educating children and that your role models and everything, that's what's marketable. That's the reality of it. And we have to look at it that way. We can't just sit back and be like, okay, well, thanks, we have a little tournament over here, but the guys have all this. No, it's the end of it. And, we get into equal pay and everything. Yes, we have a big argument, and obviously it's a legitimate argument because of the success of the women's national team. And I'm sorry, I love Tim Dittmer standing right over there, but
He's got a good outfit on.
Yeah, he does. And the lack of success from the men's national team. Okay, I love you guys. Timmy and I train together. Like Tony, I can go back. Like, I love you guys. But there's a disparity. It's very rare. But it's actually legitimate, and in other countries now, all the women are starting to say the women's leagues are getting big. Like the finals for the in Mexico, like 50,000 people. Like it's a legitimate, and if you're looking at it from a marketing standpoint, it's reality. It's real.
And the women in Barcelona just sold out the Bernabeu for a Champions League match.
Exactly, a match.
So, hey, listen.
I mean, I never had the chance to play pro in Spain. Like, it's so cool to me.
It's a different beast, right? That's okay.
We're
still live on Instagram.
It's so cool to me. I mean, there were only two places to play pro when I was coming out of college, and in between national team duty was Sweden and Japan.
Okay.
So I went to Japan. Brandy Chastain went to Japan. Tiffany Milbert went to Japan. Shannon McMillan, the top Norwegian players, everybody. A bunch of them went to Sweden. That was it. The fact there's a Premier League for women, the fact that there's a Serie A for women, the fact that this is amazing to me. If I had the opportunity to choose what country and where I wanted to play pro, I'd still be playing.
You'd still be playing.
I'm kidding.
So hey, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing for the game. Obviously, you're supporting the union. Check out the QR code to get us going. But tell us a little bit about that.
Is that okay?
Oh yeah, it's fine. We're perfectly
fine. So I was coaching at UCLA. There's a change coming. I'm so proud of Amanda Cromwell and Sam Green going over to Orlando and kind of striving for their dreams, and the fact that Orlando Pride brought in Amanda, who is just such a pioneer of women's soccer, period, from her success with the national team in college at Virginia, in college coaching UCF, and now and obviously winning a national championship for UCLA. Sam being a part of that, and now Jane Alconis getting the head job at USC. Like, I'm so proud of all of them. I'll see where I land. I'm not with UCLA anymore, and that, it's okay. Transition is good, and that's a part of life. But right now, our heart and soul is set up in the Union Community, which is a sports app. Our first community that we're launching is goalkeeping. Eventually, it'll be strikers, then it'll go into pitching for baseball, quarterbacks, everything. It's really focusing on the interaction between content creators and the community, being able to ask questions, being able to get feedback from the greatest coaches in the world. We're in 13 different languages. It's I got sick and tired of looking at other platforms and seeing the entertainment of stuff basically trumping the education of stuff. And we had to figure out a way to merge it. And, when parents are looking for a way to train their kid, taking a pickup truck and driving on the field and dropping soccer balls out of the back and having your kid dive after them is not the way to train a goalkeeper. But it has 5 million hits.
Yep. And if you think about it, we were talking to Dr. Joe yesterday, and Dr. Joe was talking about how the first time he ever saw a commercial was a Volkswagen or a station wagon commercial in the 60s, and they opened up the trunk and soccer balls fell out. So,
yeah.
kind of the same idea.
Yeah, it is. And so we wanted to put a platform together that was interactive, that was really, you can be the 12-year-old kid out there that really isn't doing, like, having trouble with your footwork or diving. You can post a video of yourself, and the greatest goalkeeper coaches in the world will come and they'll comment on it. They'll help guide you through it.
In post soccer, but besides the coaching, you've dabbled in a lot of things. You're doing a podcast now. Tell us a little bit about the podcast you got.
Inside the 18, with Mike Magid starting it, I got Omar Zini on it, and we love it. And you know what's funny is when I first came onto the podcast, we did it in a studio, and we commented on breaking news, like what happened in the EPL that week and stuff. But with COVID, as horrible as COVID is, there are some good things that came out of it. Absolutely. And with that came out of the fact that we're able to have these real conversations with some of the biggest names in coaching and players in the world, because everybody was locked in, and had time. And so the podcast has changed into really a platform to pick the greatest minds in goalkeeping and in soccer. I mean, we've had Michelle Akers on it in the world, and it's such a joy to do.
And I know this isn't the only time that you're going to be a part of it. You're going to continue to grow with it. But I have to ask, kind of the idea of where it came about. What made you want to join that? I know you've done a lot of media in the past, but what was the temptation to join those guys?
Mike had asked me to come on as a guest. And I came on as a guest for an episode, like 3 years ago, whatever it was. And after the episode, I was like, hey, can I come back every week? I just enjoyed it so much. And it morphed my love for commentating and everything like that with my love for goalkeeping and everything. And it just was a perfect fit for me. And I looked at Mike, I said, I'd love to keep coming on. And that was it.
This past year, you were named as part of the ownership group of Angel City FC.
I am. Yes.
What was that about? And what's that like to have a small part of history in Los Angeles, to have a professional women's soccer team?
It's amazing. I mean, when the email came out from Julie Foudy to it's the Angels 11. We're LLC. It's the 11 women in the LA area that have won, and this isn't lightly, won World Cups, Olympic medals, and everything like that. So we came together as a group to have part ownership in it. But the vision of Angel City and breaking that glass ceiling and really focusing on grassroots and how to develop the women's side of things and under privileged or underdeserved communities out there, to give them a voice, was something we all loved and we wanted to be a part of. So it was like a no-brainer. The email was like, hey, you guys want to own a team? I was like, yeah.
Check the boxes, right?
Yeah, it's like, okay. But we're so excited to get it started. I can't wait. Tisha Venturina keeps texting me like, can't wait to get to our first game and I'll be there, and we're all really proud of it.
And what's that going to look like? What's that first? What is the feeling going to be like, knowing that you have and you play a large role in bringing professional women's soccer to Los Angeles?
I wish it was 25 again. Does that say it? It's reminiscent of when we started the 20 of the world champions in '99 started the WSA.
Yeah.
But we were all players then. And so now I think that I'll be a little jealous, but super proud.
So when you talk jealous, you talking maybe you might want to get between the sticks and
how can you not want to play in a stadium like the LAFC stadium or the Angel City stadium, we could say, and on these perfect pitches in front of sold out crowds in your home country, and it not being a World Cup, it not being an Olympics, but it's your pro team and that energy and everything. That's amazing. And knowing I've had a part in it and I'm part of that lineage is incredible. But there's a little jealousy that I'd like to be on the field.
They always in England and other places, they always do those tribute matches, right? For people.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I was trying to bring it into existence here, and you just totally shot it down before I even got to it.
No, because I've seen some texts from Mia and those guys saying, hey, there's like a tribute match to this. And I played in one. And I played in one like 5 years ago. It was like the congressional, those congressional games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that somebody didn't. No, first of all, nobody plays defense, and I'm a goalkeeper, so you're just getting your ass kicked. And then second of all, there's some 7-foot senator running at me who doesn't know how to play soccer, who didn't know how to stop for a ball, flipped me up in the air, and I dislocated my shoulder. It popped back in. I finished the game. I got MVP of the game, but I will tell you, I think I'm done with that.
Was it a shutout? Was it a clean sheet?
It was not a clean sheet. Nobody was playing. That's Kobe Jones was on my team. He wasn't playing defense either.
I haven't seen Kobe today, but we'll have to ask him about that game.
God. He came up to me after the game. He's like, you were playing amazing. What were you doing? And I was just like, I'm a goalkeeper. I can't not play.
Yeah.
I can't jump over tackles and stuff.
That's
I have to play.
That's right.
And then Jurgen Sumner was supposed to, I dislocate my shoulder, bounce back in. I'm like, you're my sub. Where were you? He's like, I'm not coming in the game. You're having a great game.
You do well.
He's like, I'm not losing the game. I was like, really?
Keep it going. Just keep it going.
So I think I'll watch. Maybe I'll just be a guest coach. But with my competitiveness, I'll probably get it.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Well, Saskia, how can more people find out more about what you're doing and kind of just the app and the show?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to Inside the 18 on all social media platforms.com for the podcast. You can go to the Union Community on Android and on Apple or the unionsports.com.
Yeah. And
download it. It is free. So please download it and start engaging us. We welcome, put up some, if you're worried about your training or something and you want to record it, put it up and we're going to respond to you and we're going to help coach you. And look at what we have up there, because for you coaches out there and everything, it's a good learning tool.
Last question. I ask all my guests this. What does community mean to you?
It's all we're doing right now. It's everything. I mean, we just had this conversation. I'll put it out there because I'm really blunt and raw, but, I didn't get brought back as a UCLA coach. A new coach came in and decided to go into a different direction. And I found that out when I came here to Kansas City, and I thought I was devastated, but I thought, how am I going to get through this? And this community has been so amazing to me. Like sitting here with you, seeing Franz Hook over there, Paul Blodgett, who was my coach and mentor, and the love and the goalkeeper union and the positivity and everything that I've seen. I couldn't have chosen to be in a better place with that news coming.
Well, that's awesome.
That's what community means to me.
Well, Saskia, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk. I know we exchanged emails. We shared a flight together.
We did.
I fanboyed.
He got scared of a little bit of turbulence.
Just a little bit. But your turbulence on the trip to Catalina sounded like it was a lot worse than the
it was a horror movie.
Coming down.
It was a horror movie.
Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us. We're live here from the convention. We'll be here until about 4 o'clock today before we head over to the UWS AGM. Stop by, check us out. We're going to be giving away some shirts and scarves here for the Santa Clarita Blue Heat out of your neighborhood. Carlos just actually walked by to say hi. So
I love it.
We'll be giving away some scarves and some other stuff. Check us out. We'll talk to everybody soon. Until next time, cheers, everyone.
Bye, guys.
It's time for a dedicated women's league to fill the gap between college and professional soccer. A league that's committed to advancing women's soccer, focusing on the development of the female soccer player during the summer months, elevating the competition to help each player reach that next level, providing high-level soccer for collegiate players, aspiring and former professionals, and international stars, operating with professional standards because players and fans deserve an exceptional experience, uniting players that inspire and are inspired. We are passionately growing the women's game. The future is bright for United Women's Soccer. It's time. Be part of the movement.